Welcome to Fargo Talks Fargo, an unofficial podcast on the FX television series. Fargo Talks Fargo, hey, that's a long pause for me. Fargo Talks Fargo is sponsored by Fargo Brewing and their wood chipper India Pale Ale. Go to fargobrewing.com to find out more. And speaking of Fargo Brewing, hold on. Ah, there we go. I can't tell a lie. Jerome is back. Jerome, this is not a wood chipper.
Oh.
I'm fresh out of wood chipper. I have moved to their pale ale, which is Iron Horse Pale Ale. Equally delicious, just as quenching. So I'm going to go with that. But Jerome, thanks for joining us again.
Absolutely.
To fill in for the absent jet-setting Sharpie.
I can help.
I can help.
I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say that for the next 15 or 20 minutes, and you just work with it, okay?
No matter what I say, that's all you can say. Wow. I told you right before, like Sharpie and I don't necessarily talk before we do hot dishes. We just get on the horn. I start to try to say something to Sharpie. He usually yells at me. He's like, shut the fuck up. And so spoilers ahead here. We're going to say all sorts of things if you don't know. But and I'm still getting
You're still on the mend, working
I'm on the mend, but it's getting better. I'm having a beer. That's a good sign.
You're dedicated, though.
I'm working my way back to homeostasis alcoholism. I'm just kidding. Terrible joke. I feel like this is going to be a hard one to roll through in a fast pace, but I'm having these moments, and I know you haven't had as many meticulous notes because, you're just filling in on this stuff, but we opened in the 70s at the Golden Planet Awards in 1975. And I found myself just staring at all this stuff in the background and trying to take it all in. But when we talk about, I always like to catch good lines. And maybe you caught one, but I love where this isn't an exact quote completely, but I just all I typed was "big swinging dick wants a cream soda." A big swinging dick. He's not much of a drinker, so I thought that was interesting that Thaddeus was not a drinker, and yet the Thaddeus we knew as Ennis seemed like quite the, just kind of a normal Midwestern alcoholic.
He went down drinking, right?
Yeah,
he went down by the freezer where the whatever was vodka.
The vodka, I would assume. So we meet some interesting people. Did you catch? Is it Vivian Lard?
I think it was Lord.
See, and then I saw it again, and I was like, wait, did they say lard? So now I'm stuck. Somebody answer me, or I'll have the answer by the time we record the full breakdown on Sunday. But planet-wise, the cheddar, and so we get to kind of sign up and see what's going on with Howard. Did you catch his last name?
Zimmerman,
right. It's Howard Zimmerman. We meet Vivian. All this kind of stuff happens. And what is, did you catch, like... Man, Howie sure likes to speak Spanish, just randomly. Like, look how fluent I am.
He seems just like a big city guy. He meets that producer stereotype where he's like, "Hey, Bubba, hey, ¿cómo estás?" Whatever.
Yeah.
He's got to put it all on.
I don't know. It's so weird. I noticed that all the way through it, like through every time we saw Howard somewhere. When he was younger, there was this opening line somewhere of Spanish. I don't know if it means anything or if it's just a way to make him seem like a bigger douche than he is.
Okay.
Not that speaking Spanish makes you douchey, but you know what I mean.
Well, I speak Spanish, But,
you're talking to me, so that it's
huge.
D-bag by association now, being on Sharpie and I's podcast.
Yeah, no kidding.
But so we get like a quick breakdown. We don't have to go deep catalog, but I feel like this is where we get the big breakdown of what went down, what led to that photo, and all this shit about him writing the screenplay, what happened, how he fell for Vivian, how we find out that they're kind of conning him and using him. Except I feel like I buried the lead here. So we get to see all this, and we meet this guy on the plane and all this jazz. But did you make any major catches in here? Because Sharpie loves it when I talk about the Big Lebowski. I feel like there was some more Lebowski in this thing.
There was.
I really felt like the suitcase was a lot like the stolen briefcase in The Big Lebowski, except instead of like a Credence tape and business papers, she
Yes.
what did she say? She was like, there was a lot of
just
of flannel.
Mostly flannel.
Mostly flat. Yeah, you're right. My biggest questions, and I want to know what you think, because you opened with you kind of opened with my biggest question is the I can help. We basically slowly throughout this whole episode, I feel like these are where there's some just buried nuggets about something.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it, and I was trying to make associations. I was making stuff up, and then I kind of thought, nah, you're not. Yeah, there's not much there. I was like wondering, is this supposed to be Gloria? Like proving she's in the middle, she can like help out with something or whatever. You know, she's doing the investigation, she's being called back. Whatever, but I'm not really sure. I don't feel so strong about that.
Yeah, like she's the only one really trying to do something.
Right.
She's putting in all this effort, yet the sort of chief, but you're not chief is telling her to get her ass back to Minnesota. She's just the one out there doing it. You know, I can help.
Right.
Except what's weird is this robot's like total technology, and she's out there with no technology. She's out there with paper folders. I mean, did you the whole scene where she pulled the bus over on like a landline to have a cop hand off her cell phone,
right,
to her kid?
That was
which
good.
I thought was pretty hilarious. But and I found myself thinking a lot about the Santas. I kept thinking about that they're all fictitious. Sorry, kids, turn the earmuffs. Santa's not real. You know what I mean? That Santa is like this mistaken, this faked identity. Like everybody's just masquerading as somebody else.
Right. Tune into our other podcast, Ruining Your Lives, Little Children.
You see that guy over there in the suit? That's not the Easter Bunny. That's just a guy in a suit. Bonus points for that one.
Right.
It was nice to see another alumni of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Show up on the show. Coming up in another jerk role, just as much like Don Chumph was nice to see. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things I need to look up. Like when she goes to the nursing home, this pleonexia pictures. Like I want to know if that's just a made up word or if it means something.
Right. I was wondering if it had any association with that theory that he was talking about. On right,
yeah,
at that moment
about quantum physics or whatever he was trying to do. I'm not so good at science.
I felt the same way. I was going to look it up, but then I figured we're not doing that.
Well, that's
we're just serving up a hot dish. It's just hot.
Yeah. So I mean, this episode though is the law of non-contradiction. So I got to look and maybe I should have looked that up really quick before we started this. But that I don't like doing that much on this podcast. So on this one, but yeah, and I kept thinking, in a weird way, it was this little Minsky, yeah, right? Is that the
Minsky.
Robot's name?
Now,
Minsky.
Yeah. So I had like closed captions up, and so it was spelling it out as Minsky. But then later when right before the little robot shut itself down, I saw those whatever things people say MNSKY. So I think my computer was kind of like showing me something different.
Well, I did look it up during a commercial break, and I'm assuming because it's a robot and it's got artificial intelligence, it's a reference to Marvin Minsky, who's a cognitive scientist who's largely credited with his work, and everybody can find Wikipedia. I'm not a mastermind here, but he's the co-founder of MIT's AI laboratory. Concerning artificial intelligence philosophy. So this is why I was coming back to this Minsky and this particle thing. So I'm really glad you brought that up, that it was all together. That I like that it's this moment of like this randomness about the particles and people just slamming together, and it's almost in a weird way, like he was saying, you don't feel alive until you slam, until you yourself as a particle cram into another person at random, because so many of these things are random.
Well, it seems like that's kind of the show, right? It's that this is how the show goes along. These super random connections, and then they are like explosions. I mean, Maurice coming in, just messing up everything.
Yes.
Getting the wrong person, coming back, getting himself got by an air conditioner, which
right.
I watched that again, I think just last night. And man, that was really on point. It was hilarious. And it was also just getting nailed by an air conditioner is so tragically funny for Fargo.
The whole, just even the camera shot, going back to that, I still love that. But I feel like Sharpie brought some of that up. I'm deep diving, but Sharpie it's just different because I'm talking to you instead of Sharpie, right. So I have these other things I would talk to you about. But yeah, like even those camera angles, I've been waiting for some more of that we saw and in that first episode of we're inside of things, and I haven't felt that as much lately, but it's not completely, it's not that big of a deal, but I also with this, I can help. I kept thinking it's almost like I am Groot.
Oh, right.
I can only say this one thing, but we do get to see through this whole world of collisions and awfulness and the way people treat it. I mean, even Minsky says I can help, and these 3 asshats in the animation basically rip his arm off. Like Jesus. I think about it and I just think, how horrible are we? Can we get worse? I just feel like I need to go to bed and think long and hard about life right now.
It's just saying, don't worry. In the future, there will still be assholes.
Yeah, true.
Sorry. Again, our other podcast, like ruining your life. This is
ruining your life.
Yeah.
With
so
ruining
I wanted
your Jerome and how to ruin your life.
Anyway, I want to jump back real quick to
sure. Come back. Come on back.
What was it again? I was going to say I just really like the juxtaposition of using the same room, and of course, like I thought I was like Mr. Investigator when I write down the room number, and then they say it later, and I'm like, ha.
Damn it. Yeah.
But of course, it was some great. Yeah, but it was some good, like, camera switching and just kind of like pulling that. At one point, when she runs into the room and it's Thaddeus after he does the big deed. I was like, why? I was like, why is she freaking out and running into the room? And then you see him. I was thinking, oh, okay, I kind of like that they're switching this around.
I really can't wait to rewatch some of this because I've started doing this thing, just like I take some of my notes during the first watch, as many as I can, and then the second watch, I actually haven't been writing as much. Like I've been just watching. Like I'll read my notes and then I'll just watch, which is the opposite from the last 2 seasons. And I don't know if it's helping or hurting. Only you, the listener, can tell, which, by the way, we're still loving it. If you guys are enjoying the show, to go back out to iTunes and feel free to even, if you rate us, you don't have to write a review, but we'll take anything you got and reach out to us on social media. We're on Twitter, Fargo Talks Fargo, and on Facebook, Fargo Talks Fargo as well. Or email me at podcast@fargotalksfargo.
Absolutely. And hello to Calgary. Yeah. What's our friend in Calgary?
See, now you're making me.
Sorry, I mean,
I closed my email.
It's okay.
Yeah,
James.
No, it's not. I feel bad. I'm not gonna lie. We did get a whole bunch of emails, so I've read a bunch.
Okay.
Like, right now,
cool.
My easy one I always remember is shout out to Ruben, because Ruben always writes. But Ruben's
thank you, Ruben.
Yeah. I'll have some other mailbag stuff in the full breakdown, but yeah, I just finding out that he was a cream soda drinker and he worked his way straight up to for love, or lust or whatever it is that's going on in 75 with this gal. He goes straight to being a cokehead, and in the end we find out he, not to break this whole thing too wide open here, but I mean he beats the living shit out of Howie with his own cane, right? And then and yet he can't bring himself to hurt her, though, which is good, because I was like, oh shit, no, don't do this.
Yeah,
draw the line somewhere, you prick.
Right.
I like that I like knowing that young Thaddeus / Ennis definitely had a come to Jesus moment of his own, or come to science, when he goes into that bathroom. And that's where the big reveal was, in the toilet bowl.
That was so perfect.
Which, just going to say, toilet bowl, Big Lebowski.
Right? And
where's the money, Lebowski? I don't know, maybe I better take another look. It's got to be in there somewhere. And of course, the answer was in there for Thaddeus.
Yeah. I mean, that would be great to go back and look. Was there anything on the toilet in The Big Lebowski? I mean,
I doubt it. Just water.
So, since Sharpie's not here, let's do another Big Lebowski connection. I don't think we spoke about this during the last Hot Dish, and I don't think you guys mentioned this last week when Sharpie jumped back on, but we were trying to remember the other sheriff's name, and it's Donnie.
Yes.
It's Donnie.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I haven't even looked that up yet.
And
so much happening.
He's just such an amazing doofus.
Yeah.
Right?
Forgot my gun in the car. Whoops. Yeah, it is. Donnie Mashman.
There you are.
Is his name. Props. Nice work, man. But yeah, so this is where we see Dennis Stussy and Sons Toilet Company, and the D is all messed up, so you end up with the name Ennis Stussy. So I'm just going to gloss over some other quick points and see if any of these strike a chord with you, since we're at our kind of mark for wrapping up the Hot Dish. So thanks for tuning in. But there was a nice conversation on the plane about the spelling, the Planet Y spelling, which we've talked about. How so we'll probably talk about that a little bit. I don't know for sure, but I feel like there's that line where they where she tells the kid to eat your vegetables, okay? I feel like I think that might be something from Raising Arizona. I might be wrong. Okay, so this is the weird part that I'm worried we're going to drag out, but it's okay. The box.
Yeah, the box. The robot.
I feel like there's someone listening right now who's like, you idiots, it's a whatever, da-da-da, but all the boxes I've seen that are those goofy, like, Asian Japanese boxes that have the little cat paw that comes out and plays with your cat. Have you seen those online? Yeah. So it felt a lot like that. This little hand that comes out and turns the light on and off from green to red. And so we keep seeing this box, and it's in the room, and then there's those shoes in the closet behind the curtain, so I have to rewatch this and really think hard. I feel like this one's going to get 3 watches before the breakdown, but then there's this reveal of Minsky turning off his own box, his artificial intelligence, but this box in this room is, right? It was like wood box.
Yeah, like a wooden box. Half of it opens, and then the light switches from, I think, green to red.
Yes, because when it's like when you flip it on, it's green, it opens up, and it goes red. No, so it's like this old school artificial intelligence box. I feel like so that screws me up enough, right? Like, I literally typed back on plane, balmy weather. Then I just typed, I can help, shut down now, turns off, green to red. What the fuck? And then we cut to this funeral home. We do all this stuff. We make an Arby's reference, which is a reference back to the original movie. Because, hon, you got Arby's all over me. And then they drive away and blah, blah, blah. Fingerprints Maurice. I'm sorry. My total Jesus Christ moment is the box is in the back window of the car, she brought it home. She brought it home.
Yeah, so it's got to come up a little bit later somehow.
Since Sharpie's going to be back in the States and on with me, do you want to make any random guesses about the box being I don't know. What the hell? What's in the fucking box? Oh, come on.
I don't know. I was like, what I think I saw it on the commercial for what's on the next episode, right? Last week. And then this time I just kind of kept getting the sense that it was like you put in a request and then it gets denied. You know what I mean?
Huh. Maybe.
You click it, things comes back, clicks it off. It's like,
that's what I mean. I got to watch it in relation to what was happening in the show. And then I had this quick thought of it's, I don't know.
I mean, it's like, you can, again, we're just throwing stuff around. We don't really know what we're talking about. Myself, chief among the people who don't know what they're talking about, but kind of the sense of like, you don't have control, sort of like how this show just goes off the rails, right? Quickly. So kind of the sense of like, you just can't control it. There's going to be this other force that's going to be like pushing back or saying no to whatever it is you're going for, looking for, asking for.
I want to almost watch like all the animated scenes back to back to back and like skip all the middle stuff and then think about that box and what it's saying. But God dang it. I don't know what else to say outside of we'll get out of here. We'll let people do the thing. We'll go get a milkshake and some curly fries and ponder all future moves.
Yeah,
maybe
a diet pop.
You want to pop and oh geez, we didn't even talk about
well, real quick, I thought that part was quite funny. I mean, for me, pop is still pop. And whenever I come home to Fargo and I go to like Hornbacher's and I see the aisle that says this, and pop, I'm just like, yeah, effing right.
Yeah.
That's what
do you say that? Do you say pop?
I think I've kind of let it go a little bit, but
sure.
Put me in a room with a couple people from Fargo. There's no telling what's going to come out of my mouth.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened. For some reason, I've said soda a lot in my life. Like I somehow decided to drop my Midwestern, deal and just say soda.
You just decided to drop your allegiance.
I don't know. I've just never really liked the word pop. It's weird. I'll ask about what kind of soda do you have, but if it's like a really fast passing moment, there's somebody like I know somebody who like can't right now. They don't drink pop.
Right.
And I'm like, did I just say that or no? Maybe I said. Who cares?
But
Jesus.
But the rest of it, and he like makes fun of her voice, and she goes, "Do I really sound like? Or I don't sound like that, do I?" And he goes,
"Right."
He goes, "I mean, yeah."
I like that part. Just because is that the part where he talks about what you don't got teasing in Minnesota?
Yeah, and then she says,
I like that it's a thing because everybody here says when you talk about whether you're talking about the television show or the film, people here, especially in Fargo, get pissed. A fair amount do because they say we don't sound like that. And I said, well, maybe some of us don't sound extremely like that, but we all have a relative, I say, that sounds that. I've said that many times on the show.
Sure. Yeah.
But so I can't think. Yeah, Officer Hunt. That was the guy's name.
Okay.
And I liked his note. Glass. It was something about the whatchamacallit with the note in there, and it was like it's something about the glass half full.
Yeah, empty bag. Empty
yeah.
bag or half full.
Yeah. And then he also brought up this another Facebook reference from 2010 about how she's not on Facebook, so she's really not into technology, And the line real quick, just because I want to share these things with you, just because Sharpie will be back. Because you seem to like that scene when he's like, "Hey, can I get 2 beers?" And then he looks at her and she goes, "You want 2 beers?" And I can't decide if it was a joke because around here that's kind of serious. At least here it is. I don't know about in LA, but if it's 2 for ones, you take the 2 for right. And then if they're a cool place and they know you, they'll leave one in the well, as they would say. They have to. Some places have to actually open both bottles. But then they'll stick one in the ice cooler for you.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to
say, if you've ever experienced
maybe he's
that
from the Midwest. Like, that, that sounded, I was thinking the same thing. Like, that sounds like a move of some people I know.
Yeah. So many things, so many fun things. We've got physics, we got science, we've got a storyline of a Space Odyssey opera or whatever it was he said. We get to see the Writers Guild of America. We get so many things, and I'm so excited to try to figure out what the hell just happened, and I couldn't be more pleased to see Arby's get brought up, and I couldn't be more pleased to have you sit in and help us out again. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm around anytime.
All right. Well, there you go. There you have it, folks. If you have anything you want us to think about before Sunday, send it now. We'll even, that's the one nice thing about us not recording right away the next night. Sharpie and I have a few days before we record our full episode. And if I can stick to it, check out our Facebook page, and I might figure out how to get something up on the Twitter.
Yep.
Because I'm going to find I'm going to find a hot dish recipe, and I'm going to make it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What's the rule here? You have to find the recipe and make it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't have to find it. I just go to my mom's house.
Yeah, there you go.
I just open up a thing, and somewhere there's a little card that says casseroles, and it's probably crossed out and says hot dishes. if my mom has any backbone at all,
right?
So I'll pull one of those out, and I'm thinking about a gal we used to know named Sherry. She had a really good taco hot dish.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not going for the regular old like noodle bullshit. I mean, this has got some like layered crunchy tortillas that are baked in the dish.
Wow.
Taco hot dish.
Okay.
So
I mean, there's always tater tot hot dish. That's my jam. I just miss
it's a
it
jam.
like the desert misses the rain.
I just want to get out of the regular box here. I mean, maybe we need to start them at the basics, but we'll see what happens.
That's true.
So
we'll see.
There it is. They another hot dish is out of the oven and ready for you. So tune in, drop us a line. Thanks so much again, Jerome, for coming on the show and offering your input and filling in. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks to all you folks listening out there.
Yeah.
We can
help. Have a good one.
We can help.